Hi, honeys. It's Michelle with Books Cause Insomnia. I'm here today to do a record video. Now, you might be wondering why I'm doing a record video on a book page. Well, the reason is because I like to listen to records when I read. And I thought this would be a really fun video for anyone who likes collecting records, who likes older music, anyone who's looking for something fun to listen to while they read, and so on and so forth. The Ink Spots. This is volume 2. I don't know what's on volume 1, but I don't see how it could possibly be better than this. I'm hoping I can find some of these songs on YouTube's music catalog and put them in the background while I'm talking to you about the music. But the Ink Spots, if you're not familiar with them, definitely give them a chance because they're really good. And you probably do know them, you just don't know that you know them. I think the most popular song on this album is I'm Gonna Sit Right Down and Write Myself a Letter. And this is my record player right here behind me. I wish I could play these for you. And then, to me, nothing sounds better than a record. I've got this one. This is called Finland Sings, a picture of Finland in song and dance. I don't know why it says that. You're not going to see anybody dancing when you play the record, but in case you're wondering how I got my hands on this, I used to be part of a Finnish American club. I joined it. So I do a lot of genealogy, and I joined the club because I was trying to understand the Finnish part of my heritage and some of the things that my family went through. And I thought it would be kind of neat to meet some Finnish people that had moved here after living in Finland for a while. I thought maybe they could explain things to me. And we ended up becoming friends with this couple there. And the husband he had been a DJ in the 50s. So he had all these records. I mean, that's what they played in the 50s, was records on the radio. He had this big room full of records, and he gave me a couple boxes of records he was getting rid of, and this is one of them. But so he had a bunch of Finnish records, and then he's the one that gave me the Ink Spots record as well, though, and quite a few of the records I'm going to show you he gave me. But yeah, I figured eventually I'll go through the boxes and sell the records that I'm not planning on keeping, but for now they're in storage. Let's see here. This one is really fun to listen to. It's Old Time Radio, the nostalgic voices and sounds of old time radio. It's got great stars and shows from the golden days of radio entertainment, performances, and actual broadcast excerpts from the 20s, 30s, and 40s. I love this art on the front too. And this one, let's see. This one, as far as reading goes, you can read to this. I wouldn't recommend maybe when you're getting ready to read, or if you're cleaning, it might be better because there's a lot of stories on here and little ads and that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit harder to read when there's a lot of words and talking and such. So maybe this one wouldn't be as good for reading. But another record that I have, Bing Crosby's Merry Christmas. And yes, it does have White Christmas on it. This is a really good album, though. I love this one. And if you're interested... Sorry, that's my air conditioner that just kicked on. If you're interested in a Christmas album video, let me know, because I got Christmas albums, too. I actually have probably 5 or 6 children's Christmas albums from when I was a little girl that I never got rid of, too. It's kind of fun, like Cabbage Patch Kids and that kind of stuff. This one I love just playing in general, whether I'm reading, cleaning, whatever. The Oklahoma soundtrack. This is the Rodgers and Hammerstein one, and My grandpa used to sing the theme song of Oklahoma, and it reminds me of him, and that's why I got so excited when I found this in one of the boxes of records that my friend gave me. But I've actually got 3 different versions of this. I've got a box set that are 45s, and then I've got this one, and then I've got one other one. But I love the Oklahoma, the entire soundtrack. I just love it. You're like, stop, now that song's in my head. Barbra Streisand, The Way We Were. I love Barbra Streisand. Kenny Rogers, Greatest Hits. Kenny Rogers actually kind of reminds me of I guess he reminds me of my dad, because I feel like my dad is the one that introduced me to Kenny Rogers. But it's funny because when I think of the music that I love, my dad, my stepdad, and my grandpa seem to have exposed me to the most musical artists as a kid and kind of shaped what music I like. It's kind of interesting how that works, isn't it? Nina Simone, at Newport. This one is so wonderful to listen to. It's very relaxing and kind of haunting at the same time. It's kind of soothing. I like listening to this when I'm reading some of my mysteries. Frank Sinatra, Only the Lonely. I've got a bunch of Frank Sinatra albums, I have to say, but this is one of my favorite ones. There's a bunch of sad, lonely songs on it. Sammy Davis Jr., If I Rule the World. I also have a bunch of his records. Brad and I both love the Rat Pack, so we tend to really gravitate towards their records. And if I'm at the Goodwill or any thrift shop and I see these, I always grab more of them. You just can't have enough Rat Pack in your life, can you? Then I've got Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. This was actually, I think it was my mom's. Mom, was this yours? I know my mom watches my videos. She'll probably comment and say, I think it was hers though. And she gave it to me when I moved out of the house. But I love that record. I think I listened to it more than anybody else in my family. Used to love dancing to it. So because I like dancing to it, it's really better for cleaning than reading, but still. Another one this one I've had since I was a little girl. My grandpa that I was just talking about bought this for me. It's the original Muppet movie soundtrack. And as you see, I wrote my name on the front. Apparently I was struggling with what letters were uppercase and which ones were lowercase at the time. But I do still have that exact album, which is really cool. Fast Times at Ridgemont High, the soundtrack. I love this album. I love this movie. So good. Jeff Spicoli's Vans on the cover. Need I say more? I've got the Firebird Suite by Petrouchka. I was a ballerina for 16 years, so I really love ballet music. And this one is really fun to have playing, especially for some reason if I'm reading a thriller, this is the way to go for me. I don't know. And then my very favorite album to listen to when I'm reading is The Red Shoes. It's the soundtrack for the movie. I love this. I think it's just the perfect background sound for reading. There's no lyrics. It's very old-fashioned sounding and beautiful, and of course it does have a lot of ballet sound to it as well. I really like it. And I'm always on the lookout for more albums to listen to. So if you have any recommendations for reading, let me know down in the comments what you listen to when you read. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day or night. I love you. Bye.